Welcome to day 79 of 66 and 26. It's Tuesday, which means we're in the Old Testament historical books. And today we're in 1 Samuel 4 to 8. When we're in 1 Samuel, we're at a transition between the period of the judges and the monarchy in Israel. Remember, the period of judges is not talking about like courtroom judges, what we would think about in our day. Judges were leaders of Israel, usually spiritual leaders or political or military leaders who God raised up to help save the people of Israel at times of need and desperation. And one of the last judges is a man named Eli. His two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, we're told in the previous chapters, they're wicked men and displease the Lord in a number of ways. And when we get to 1 Samuel chapter 4, we see another example of this, where Hophni and Phinehas have the idea when the Philistines are attacking Israel to bring out the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant is something that's described in the Pentateuch, in the time when God was bringing the people out of Egypt to the Promised Land, and he gave them his 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments were placed in the Ark, and that Ark was a place where God dwelt with his people. He sat on the mercy seat, which is the cover over the Ark, and that was where God's localized presence, even though he's present everywhere, his localized presence was there at the Ark of the Covenant. It was powerful, and it was to be taken very seriously and reverently. But Hophni and Phinehas had the idea when the Philistines are attacking and the Israelites are being defeated, that all we need to do is bring out the Ark of the Lord and we will be victorious. It's almost like they see the Ark as a good luck charm. But God allows them to be defeated nonetheless, even when the Ark is in the field. And the Ark is captured by the Philistines, which we hear about in 1 Samuel 4 and 5. And then that Ark causes all kinds of trouble for the Philistines. When they put it in the temple of Dagon, then they come in the morning and the statue Dagon has fallen face down, almost like the statue itself is bowing down to the Lord God Almighty. And they put the statue of Dagon back up, and the next morning they come back and that statue has fallen once again before the Lord Almighty. In all these chapters that we're reading today, I think there's a common theme in that the people of Israel are putting their hope and trust in all the wrong places. They're putting their hope in the object of the Ark of the Covenant. They're putting their hope and trust in the judges that God raises up, or that might be Eli or Hophni or Phinehas. And then there's this man, Samuel. Samuel is elevated to be a priest. He's serving in the house of the Lord. He's also seen as a prophet and one who hears the word of the Lord and speaks that to the people of Israel. And he's the last of the judges. He judged Israel for his lifetime. But as Samuel is getting older, then the people of Israel are wondering, who next? Who's going to lead us in this next season? And they call out and they cry out for Samuel to ask the Lord to give them a king like all the other nations. And here's another way where the people of Israel have misplaced trust. They think if we just have a king, then we will be okay. We'll be secure, and that person will lead us in having a great and prosperous season for Israel. And God warns them, if you have a king, then that king is going to tax you heavily. He's going to force your sons to serve in the army. He's going to force your daughters into service in his own house. And in a lot of ways, that king is going to lord over that authority over the people of Israel. And so he warns them. And the people say, no, please give us a king just like all the other nations. And we find out in 1 Samuel 8 that God relents and God gives them a king. And sometimes God has to do this. He has to give us what we think we need and want in order that we can come to the conclusion that what we really want is not going to be the actual solution. And we find then through the rest of the history of Israel, even though they have a king, a monarch, like all the other nations, all the kings are terrible. corrupt, lead people astray into false religion and so forth. And so we find that really the only place that we can put our trust is in the Lord God. The Lord is the only one worthy of our praise, worthy of our trust. And this period of chaos, the beginning of 1 Samuel, gives us a great indication that it really is nothing in the world where we should put our trust, but in God alone.